Saints are 2-1. They were up 17-0 in the third quarter, and they fumbled the bag. What happened?
Well, I mean, Derek Carr went out.
Okay.
Right? Not really an excuse. I don't care who the quarterback is. You're up 17-0 with that defense. You should be able to close the game out. Like, I kind of expected it to get a little close once he went out. But, man, that was one of the most frustrating Saints games I think I've ever watched.
Yeah.
It just felt like, and like we could say this on the front end, Jameis he's getting hate because he's Jameis.
Oh, of course.
On Twitter,
the
Facebook,
stands,
whatever.
The stands are back.
Oh,
I don't
they're
know
back.
Are you ready?
First, Jameis is inevitable. Let's go. Let's say that.
I think I texted you
yeah,
that.
yeah. But he played well. Like, I don't think he played.
Yeah, he was fine.
He played. I don't know if I want to say he played well. He played on par with what Derek Carr's been the first 3 weeks of the season. And like for everybody hating on Jameis, like call a spade a spade. Carr has not been some great quarterback so far. Right? Like he put up good numbers in the first week, but he hasn't been spectacular.
I'll say this. I do want to defend. There's this debate. People throw numbers out, and there's certain people out there that want to put Jameis on the same level as Carr or better. I don't think he is. Even to what you're saying about like Jameis played as well as Carr has, I disagree with that as well. The major difference I see between Jameis and Carr, they may put up the same stats, but Carr moves the ball consistently. They don't score, but they move the ball consistently, keep the defense off the field, run the clock a little bit. James will come on. He might make a play. There's a penalty. I don't know what it is about what happens to our team's brain when Jameis is on the field because it's not all on him. There's just like stupid penalties. There's dumb things that happen. We don't move the ball at all. Next thing you know, we're 3 and out and punting. And that's it.
Yeah, if you're comparing it to – it's hard to compare it like Derek Carr to fourth quarter from Jameis this week, right? I'm kind of looking at Jameis as a whole, and yes – 100%. I agree with you, everything. And I'm with you. Derek Carr, it may not be a giant leap from Winston to Carr, but he is better.
Derek Carr ain't Drew Brees. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to make the type of argument here.
He feels like he runs an offense better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't really know what it is. He just feels better. but I'll say this. For this week, it felt like when Jameis came in, like they kind of just shut the playbook. It almost felt like they were playing not to lose, instead of just going to win the game.
Yeah,
you know, and he gets the hate for that. But like you're saying, I don't think it's him. Sure, he did some of the things Jameis does, held the ball a little bit, but also like Derek Carr is hurt because he held the ball too long.
Yeah,
you know. So
listen, at some point too, this has gone around Twitter multiple times. A lot of people are saying it. At some point, you got to look at the fact that your quarterbacks have not made it through a season and your O-lines have not blocked well in 2-3 years here. Like, the blame goes somewhere for these guys getting hurt constantly and for the constant sacks, the constant pressures. It's hard for any quarterback back there when you got guys in your face. Now, granted, you know, Derek Carr and Jameis are both guys that are going to hold the ball. They like to let the routes develop. They want to push it down the field.
Right.
But you got to protect your quarterback. Like, it's been a running thing no matter who is back there. Which is why I argued last year, like, just throw Taysom back there. I can't talk right now, but just throw Taysom back there because at least you're putting an athlete back there that's going to run around and make some plays.
You say that. That was the issue with Taysom was he can do that and he wouldn't.
Not a quarterback. It's like he changes his mindset.
Yeah, but that's a different conversation. Yeah, I think the one that's Dennis Allen gets blamed. He's the head coach.
Sure,
this is his show. The one that deserves a lot of like eyes on him right now is Doug Marrone. You know, that's also why Dennis Allen gets blamed. You brought him in. Like, this is your guy, right? All the people this year are Dennis Allen's guys. So it all falls on him in the end. If Derek Carr didn't get hurt this week, it was only a matter of time. He was at 11 sacks already.
Yeah, he's been getting hit constantly.
Yeah, that's just the sacks. Like, that's not hits and pressures and like it's probably lucky it happened now and not at the end of the season.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we're lucky it's only what it is. It was only a matter of time before it was going to happen. Like I don't know what they can do. You can't stick with Doug Marrone the whole year.
Yeah.
Like if you got to change something, you're not going to. I mean, you can go out and make a trade, I guess, but bringing in one lineman is not going to change anything. They all look bad.
They worked out 4 today.
Right, but you can't like I'm saying if you don't think Penning's good enough, like if you were one piece away, like if all the pressures were coming for Trevor Penning's side, you can make a trade for a good left tackle and maybe solve it. You can't fix the entire unit.
Right.
You know?
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, and that's been the consistent theme, right? It's not just one guy. Like it's every play, it's one different guy. Everybody's making a mistake, and maybe it's the scheme, maybe it's I don't know. Maybe they're not communicating properly on who's picking up what. Like you see somewhere you come in with we had like 8 linemen on the field for one of those for the play Jameis took the sack at the end of the game. Not the end of the game, but close to the end of the game. There's like 8 linemen on the field, and you still leave your tackles one-on-one. It didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Like
I don't even think it's like every play one person getting beat. Like, yeah, every play one person is getting beat. But the problem is it's multiple of them every play. Like the play where Carr gets hurt, I saw somebody say, you got to step up. I'm like, dude, there
was nowhere to step up.
Yeah,
to.
both tackles are closing in.
Yeah.
The setters and the guards are getting pushed back like children.
Or the argument, a lot of people are like, oh, well, the good thing about Drew is he always took what people gave him. Check it down to Jimmy Graham. He's open. Jimmy Graham was not open. Like, he catches the ball there. There's a guy 2 yards away from him that tackles him. It's 4th down. Like, Derek Carr's trying to make a play. Now, granted,
it's better than taking the sack, though.
It is better than taking the sack.
You never know. I mean, like, if Jimmy breaks a tackle, I feel like you don't know, man.
Jimmy ain't breaking tackles.
But
Jimmy ain't broke a tackle in 15 years.
All right, so this isn't specifically because it was Jimmy. I'm just meaning, like, you see it all the time, though. Like, you take the 6 yards, maybe something happens. And you get there.
Maybe.
Right? And if not, you're in the same position you are. You're 5 yards closer for a punt. You know, it's like it's a better result to complete that pass than to take the sack. Because, like, if he's taking the sack, he gets hurt. He could fumble. There's worse things that happen from him taking the sack than trying to complete that pass. To me.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. I just don't fault him for... Everything's moving fast in that situation. You see Jimmy 3 yards past the line of scrimmage. You know he's nowhere near the first down. You're looking at the sticks. You know, you're not even looking at Jimmy there.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
That's fair.
If it's someone like Kamara, you got somebody coming out of the backfield. Maybe it's like, check down, let him run with it. But I just don't. I'm not a quarterback. Clearly, I've played a little flag football. That's about it. Yeah. But I wouldn't be looking at that.
That's the thing. I don't know what the solution is. Like, it's such a you can't. Like, yeah, we were 2-0. We should be 3-0 with that offensive line. But, like, I don't know how that's sustainable.
It doesn't
keep winning. I mean, because the defense is so good.
Mm-hmm. You also got to call a spade on the other end, too. Like, we're not running the ball.
No.
We are just choosing not to run the ball.
Yeah, they abandon it quick. Like, if it's not working. Which is weird because the second game, I guess, when we had... Because Jamal came out the second game and was making some plays.
Yeah.
Like, I saw people still hating on him. I thought he was looking good that game.
He looked okay. He wasn't...
It felt like he was getting 4 yards a pop.
Yeah,
like, I'll take it. That's better than what we had.
It's just ugly. Like, Jamal's style is always going to be kind of like that. He's like 4 yards in a pile of dust or whatever you want to call it.
The problem is the problem is he was getting 4 yards up the gut, and then they try to do the things he's not good at and going outside, and that's when it gets ugly. And you know, but he was getting yardage, and then Tony Jones comes in and he looks good.
You got preseason Tony Jones on this roster right now.
I don't know what happened. Like, I know Green Bay used to have a really good run defense. I don't know if they're still up there or not. No, they're not, because I remember when we did the pregame show, they were the 3rd worst rush defense in the league. So it should have been a game where you could get it going.
It just genuinely looks like we're choosing not to run the ball, to be honest. Like, and maybe it's just the eye test. I don't know. But I even said it last week. I was like, why are we not giving Kendra the ball? And a guy I was with was like, well, because Kendrick's been sucking with the ball. I'm like, really? Has he even touched it? And it was like,
dude, he had a few where he looked good.
I thought so too. He's got burst. He can.
Yeah.
Like, and they were sticking with Tony, which is fine. I don't know. There's a lot I don't understand. I don't know.
And you got, of course, you're excited for Alvin to come back, but then it's like, are we gonna get the same Alvin we got last year when he would just have him running straight into the back of the line and he's getting frustrated? And you see it with Alvin, his body language gets kind of, rightfully so, because he's like, you remember when Mark Ingram popped up that one time like years ago, was like, stop running that shit. It's the same thing with Alvin, and then they're not running like the screen passes, and I don't know if it's because they don't trust who they got back there. Like, did they not trust Jamal with the screen passes? Do they not trust Tony Jones? Like, you got to do something. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't know what the solution is.
I don't know. I think the style another thing, just going back into the run thing, the style that you're playing, right? Your defense is so strong. Run the damn ball.
Yeah.
If you're going to be that defensive team, you got to establish a run game too. Like, you can't just come out here airing it out thinking you're going to keep putting your defense on the field and they're going to keep playing the way they're playing. Eventually they're going to get tired.
Which is kind of what happened. There's also, I think there is something to it, like, for this game specifically. Like, when your starter goes down like that, and he was in the, like, it didn't look good when it first happened. I think there's something mentally that happens to the team. Like you're saying, maybe that's what happens when Jameis came in. Like, the whole team just kind of is like, here we go again, right? And it's not because I'm not saying it's because it was Jameis specifically. It's just like, it's so deflating that you bring this guy in to be a savior almost, and then bam, same thing happens to him that's happened the last, feels like 5 years now.
Yeah.
You know? And I think there's something to that. Like, granted, you got to shake it off and play ball, right? But and then, like you're saying, Jameis comes in, the offense doesn't sustain a drive. Defense is just constantly out there, and like they weren't getting beat all game. And then you got you got the dude, what's the cornerback? I don't know how to say his last name. Yadam, whatever his last name is. Yeah,
Yadam.
So he played a really good game, but like you're kind of expecting him to get beat at some point,
right?
And it happened. Like, you play it with fire, that happened.
Even Alante had a hell of a game, but when it counted, there was one or two big plays that didn't go our way.
And then Marshawn's Marshawn, but he had like a brain fart on that 2-point conversion.
Yeah,
you know, like
I was like, bro, you left him open.
Yeah, like I don't. It just kind of felt like, I don't know. When Derek Carr went down, I kind of was like I thought we'd still win, but I thought it was going to get ugly, and we were just going to have to survive, and we just didn't.
Yeah. I mean, you said it best. It almost felt like they just played not to lose.
Yeah.
And they just went into, like, prevent mode, even on defense. Like, they played very soft.
It just feels like they don't trust Jameis with the offense. That's what it feels. Every time he comes into the game.
Which sucks. Like, you have to. I don't care who's back there, quarterback.
Dude, you knew what you were getting when you signed Jameis, and if you're not going to let him be that person, for better or worse, like, then why is he playing?
Yeah.
You know? Like, I mean, right now he's playing because he has to.
Right.
But, like, I don't know, man. Like, if you had another option, like, would they play? Like, if Haener was healthy, do you think they'd consider going that route because they just don't trust him? Like, I'm still going Jameis every time. You know, I'm at least riding with Jameis and let's see how it goes, because I don't fully trust a 4th-round quarterback. Yeah. You know what I mean?
No, I don't think they would go to Haener. Something horrible would have to happen with Jameis for them to go to Haener. It just feels like they don't, like, but to my point is, like, if you don't trust this guy, do something else. Yeah. Like, you can't, you're killing yourself just going out there, hey, here's 3 plays, put the defense back on the field. Like, either you trust him and let him play ball, or do something else. Like, put some, you know what I mean? Bring somebody in. I don't know. Why did you bring the guy back if you're not going to let him run the offense? I just want to see quarterback power 40 times a game. I don't care. Let's do it. Fuck. You can mix it up enough. I've said this a million times. I don't know if I said it on the pod. I probably did. The little, like, pass run option they've been running. I think I said it last week. When they throw it to Shaheed, it's going to be a huge play. Yeah. It's amazing because every time they're respecting Shaheed swinging out. But it's the only creative play he's running right now. It is. But, it's phenomenal. It's 8 yards a carry at least every time. It's amazing. Yeah, like, we've been going on this for a while, so I don't want to keep sticking with it. But, like, there's other complaints I have. Like, it's like, I'm not super down. Like, we're still 2-1. 2-1. Yeah. Like, that game's going to count as a loss, and when we are fighting for playoff positioning at the end and we need one game, like, that's going to be the one we look at. Yeah. But, like, overall, offense is the issue, but they've won games, right? The defense is phenomenal, and I'm not worried about the defense yet. Like, they're getting some injuries right now, so maybe, but like, they look fantastic. I do love that the solution to every problem we've faced so far this year has just been to sign a defensive back. It's like, quarterback gets hurt, sign a defensive back. Running out of running backs, sign a defensive back. Right. We'll figure it out. We're going to cut a running back and then sign a defensive back. Right. None of it makes sense, but it works. Yeah, I would, like, if you want to be, if I had to give you, like, one other thing that I want to see improve is, like, I want Shaheed to just touch the ball more.
Like I thought coming into the year he would be like a legit wide receiver 2, 3. But I feel like they're like he's one of those players. Same thing I feel about Alvin. Like just put the ball in his hands a couple times a game.
Yeah.
And see what happens.
You got to get him in space.
Right. Throw him a screen. See what happens. Like you can see every time he's touched the ball this year. It's just like electric.
He's kind of just become the shot play guy.
But he doesn't like. That's what Deontay felt like. That's what.
Yeah.
You know, like Shaheed feels like more of a receiver than.
You know, it could just be the offense. Like if you really look at it through the history, like the Sean Payton offense, which is what we're running.
Yeah.
That's how it's been. Like you haven't really. The only guys you've gotten in space have been your running backs. It's been Sproles. It's been Kamara.
Mm-hmm.
It's been guys like that. It's been Reggie Bush. Like you haven't really used wide receivers that way. You've had a shot play guy. You've had a route running guy. Like you've had a big target.
But we've seen them line Olave up at running back.
Yeah.
The one play. So like, it's there. Like put Shaheed there, and let him run one of the running back. Like one of the screen plays. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's stuff you can do, but I don't know. Like I don't want to harp on it.
No, we move on.
And feel like it's a negative thing because like I'd be a lot more negative if I knew Carr wasn't coming back anytime soon.
Yeah.
But it feels like at worst we're probably 1 week without him, and we'll see what happens.
I was going to say the good news is it seems like he's ready to come back this week. He's not gonna. I don't think they let him come back this week. I think if they did let him, I think he might put on the damn pads and get on the field though.
Oh, 100%.
But that's fine. We can put a pin in that. Tulane.